Yo, it's poppin'. It's Kendrick Lamar with the hip hop update with Taylor, you know what I mean? Straight up, Compton, California. We out here doing this tour thing, strange, independent tour.
501s, Louis Letterman jacket, little brother only 5. Mama put him on my taxes. You know that Compton ghetto shit. That Harry Section 8 tenant is familiar with. Ooh wee, they say he's something like this.
First of all, OD, crazy. And how'd you come up with the concept for Overly Dedicated?
Appreciate it. First of all, appreciate you liking the tape.
It's awesome.
I like to consider the OD project just an extension of the Kendrick Lamar EP. I felt like my first tape I gave people me, but it wasn't enough, you know what I mean? So I felt like the next tape should be an overdose of me in my life and sharing it with the world so they can relate, you know what I mean? So I like to call it actually a side B of what I had did previous. I mean, prior to that, the 6 months before, so that's how I came up with the concept. And the whole backdrop on the whole, the art cover of it is people that I respect, you know what I mean, that I felt like that was over dedicated, you know what I mean, to what they do in their craft, and me trying to put myself on a pedestal, reaching their level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I got people like Dash Snow, Jim Morrison, Pimp C, ODB, Bruce Lee, you know what I mean? Those are all legends in my eyes, you know what I mean? So that's how I came up with the title.
Cool. All right. So I think you came up with the name Black Hippies. Is that right?
Right.
How'd you come up with that?
I was just well, first off, it consists of me, myself, Absol, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and looking at all our individual styles, I want to bring them together as one to make it all make sense at the end of the day. So when people look at the word hippie, they think of carefree people. I consider our music carefree. And when they think of the word, I mean, when they see the image of a hippie, they think of bright colors. What I want to do was take out them colors and just make it one solid color, black. I mean, some people may not call it color, but I do. And what that represents is all the colors mixed into one, which is, it can be life, death, I mean, happy, sad, all those emotions in black. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the type of flavor we bring to the game is unruly. You know what I mean? It's something that the industry wouldn't want us to do. I mean, it's reckless, and that's what we represent, expressing ourselves in music and not trying to be confined to the industry. You know what I mean? That's the overall feel of Black Hippie.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Rock, he's signed to an indie label, Strange.
Right.
Do you want to follow in his footsteps and sign to an indie, or do you want to go major? Or is it just whatever?
Right now, I'm in a situation where I will push for the independent. You know what I mean? Just seeing where the industry is going and other people's situation. But if the opportunity presents itself in a proper manner and respect, and where a major label can respect me and my craft overall and put them proper numbers on the table, I mean, because my music is everything. I'm not about to, you know what I mean, put it down and not say that it should be represented on a higher level, you know what I mean? But for right now, I'm pushing the indie, but if opportunity presents itself, it'll be good.
All right, cool. So I know you have an album out, or you're working on an album somewhat, kind of. How are you able to even find time to do that when you're touring, I think, like 200 days out of the year? Yeah,
that's the crazy part, because I'm a studio rat.
Yeah.
If you ask any of my people, I don't really like to be out in the social part, gatherings of things, unless it's really needed and I need to experience and touch hands and shake hands with people. I'm cool with that, but I like to stay in the studio making music. The way I'm finding out how to do it now is basically just keep Mixed by Ali on the bus with me, where I can record whenever I feel like, you know what I mean? It might not be the best, you know what I mean, feel of the actual studio, but I can at least get my thoughts out and express myself, you know what I mean? And I can eventually go back home and record it all over, you know what I'm saying?
And I know it's going to be a concept album, right? Kind of based around LA, is that right?
Yeah. I got the title now, but I want to give it up just yet.
That's good.
It's something special, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's basically a story about my life and story about people growing up in my city, you know? My whole, how my music is, how I look at my music, it's come from an angle of a kid trying his best to escape the influences of the city. You know what I'm saying? Lifestyle I grew up in, my lifestyle, how I raised, I look at it as the movie Menace to Society. The kid came, you know, when I was coming up, my mom and pops had parties every Friday, you know what I mean? I got, my grandma had 13 kids, and each one of them had over 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? So I got tons of cousins that was living in the city at one particular time in my life, where it was parties every motherfucking Friday, drinking, smoking, violence, all this shit. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me coming up and being raised from that, I couldn't help but to understand and know that there's other kids just like me. Dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's trying to escape all this shit
Yeah.
because we're in it. You know, so when I say influences, escaping influences, it can be peer pressure, it can be drug abuse, it can be gang violence, of course, it could be the police, harassment, it could be all that, you know what I mean? That's all in the city of Compton and in LA, period. And that's the story I'm basically trying to explain on another level, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. All right, so I know you met Rock, I think, back in high school.
Yeah.
How'd you guys link up and where'd it go from there?
As you know, Compton and Watts is 5 minutes away. Like you said, I met him in high school. He knew some mutual friends. I knew some mutual friends. I always seen him at Centennial. You know what I mean, going through the classrooms, but he never went there. You know, just on some wild young kid shit. You know, but through the graces of God, I had put a mixtape out in the city called YHNIC, Youngest Head Niggas. I was 16. You know what I mean? And it actually got a good response, and it caught the attention of the CEO of Top Dog Entertainment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I had no clue that J-Rock was over there prior to me putting that tape out doing his thing. So DJ Dave brought me to him. I fought through, and then I see this cat that I've been seeing in high school, coming around my school, just sitting there writing raps. I'm like, I know you, dog. He was like, yeah, I know you. And it just happened like that. And from the second day I was there, well, let me go back. Let me tell you this story. Top Dog, when I first got in that motherfucking studio, Top Dog made me sit in that booth and freestyle for about an hour on a double time, fast paced beat where I had to actually rap like yeah, that's a whole other story though. But the next day, me and Rock, we started writing, you know what I mean, immediately. I mean, the chemistry was there. And from so on, we just started putting out mixtapes, working on albums, and everything has been history since, man.
Yeah, all right, so last question. If there was one person you could open for or a tour with, who would it be and why?
Who would it be and why? That's a good question. Can I think about what's that? Because I got so many more.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of fucking people.
So I remember I saw someone ask you in the questions like, who you have a song, you said like Pac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I would open up? Beatles.
Beatles? Oh, that's a good answer.
The Beatles, motherfucking Beatles, because I know they gonna bring the motherfucking Woodstock, and I know I want to touch a demographic that I ain't reached yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good answer.
I cross over to that shit and bring the type of shit I'm kicking.
Man.
And they understand.
So give me 50 feet, champ. Run it till I got a bunion and my feet cramp. I'm in the hot spots. I know they seats damp, and I don't need your cosign.